All right, I think we're in here. I think we're connected. I think we're live. I would like to welcome you and thank you for your participation. Thank you for joining today's LinkedIn Live. Actually, it's a LinkedIn Live, but I'm streaming it across YouTube as well as Facebook. Of course, most of the big connections in my network that I have right here is specifically right here on LinkedIn. So, welcome and thank you. We should have a pretty full house. And when I say a full house, I mean anybody in addition to me is a full house, right? Because at the end of the day, this is about you getting you to that next level. So I only need one person. Is all I need, right? Or I could just sit here and talk to myself, and you can watch this on replay. But I think today is going to be a dope session. I'm excited to dig into today's session. Actually, what does it say? It says finally get paid what you deserve, right? So that's the topic. I actually re-topic it, and I titled this "You're not undervalued, you're just underpositioned." So today is all about getting you to that next level of your career. First, I want to welcome you and thank you. We're getting to a little bit of intros here, and intro is just really about me. But I definitely want to make sure right here, welcome, drop your first name and where you're from. If you put that in the chat box, it just makes you human, it makes you relatable, and it helps us connect the dots. So from a networking standpoint, we can all identify with other potential people that we can network with. So again, once again, welcome and thank you. I'm Patrick Hart. I'm going to be your host today, and a little bit about me. If this is your first time getting to know me, listen, I'm the king of pivots. And when I say that, I spent 6 years in the Army as a helicopter mechanic, and it was a dope experience. I got to travel and see the world, visited many different countries. And I think that experience alone probably had the biggest impact in my life, only because, when you're growing up, and I'm born and raised, I'm from Texas, everybody, from Austin, Texas. So the city, I was a go-getter at night, a studier during the day. But whenever you're from somewhere, the only thing you know is from that place, right? Or your surroundings. But when I was able to travel and see the world, it opened up my belief system that was different from what I believed before. Plus, you get to connect with so many different cultures. You can understand their struggles. You understand what motivates them. You understand culturally how they stay connected, things like that. So that was a dope experience. But my I originally wanted to be, when I was in the military, I was like, man, can I find a job where I can go to work looking good and smelling good, in the same day? And eventually I found like sales and marketing, right? So when I transitioned out of the military, I spent almost 8 years in the mobile home industry, rising through the ranks, became a general manager. I was overseeing retail centers throughout Texas. And then the housing market went to crap in 2007. So end of 2008, I was like, dude, I'm tired of like pulling my hair out my head, the little hair that I have. What can I do where I can use these transferable skills into another industry? And I found healthcare in 2009. And when I jumped into healthcare, what I realized is, man, it's full of opportunities, right? And I was like, okay, I want to explore this more. So I went from this to that to that. And I just continued to elevate, challenge myself, accept new opportunities. And in 2015, I would say is when my big boy opportunity came, where I was a business unit leader, running a business unit, had over 8,000 clients nationwide, ended up growing revenue year over year over year, had a development team in Chennai, India. So it was a big opportunity. And we ended up positioning ourselves and selling that company at the end of 2018. And so here I am, young guy, accomplished something, had a successful exit. But during my course, I realized there were so many people that were more qualified than me, that were way smarter than me, but yet they were getting passed over for opportunities. And since then, I've just kind of rededicated myself to help people that look like you get to that next level of their career, and specifically within healthcare. That's my focus because I spent, the last 15 years in healthcare. So I believe in the work that we do. I think intrinsically we gravitate to healthcare because we believe in the impact of helping others, right? Whether it's the bedside or we're working behind the scenes, we still believe in the impact, right? And so I created my company, PDP Media. That's basically about storytelling, elevation, helping healthcare organizations, helping people like you get to that next level of career success. So it's about branding. So it's a little bit about me. I would like to welcome and thank you once again. Put this on here. Go ahead and drop your first name and where you're from in the chat box. That'd be dope. There's a lot of people that accepted this invite that I've been connected to for quite some time. So I would like to welcome you as well. Welcome, LinkedIn fam. Today, we're going to be talking about if your paycheck, your title, and your recognition, if it doesn't match your value, then that ain't a coincidence. And it ain't always your fault, but it is your responsibility to change the narrative. So we're going to dig into how to change that narrative right here. Have you ever like looked around and I mean, you're just like really looking around and you're like, well, how's that person over there? How did they get promoted? I'm still over here carrying the department. right? So you feel like you're carrying the department, but somebody over there, they ended up getting promoted, right? Yeah. Well, that stops today. So we'll talk about how that's going to stop. We're not here to grind harder. So if you're thinking that what you're going to get out of here is Patrick's going to tell me how to grind harder now, this is all about how we position ourselves smarter. So today's not going to be a pep talk. It's a wake up call, right? And it's going to be a roadmap. So thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. We have four big bullet points that I'm going to hit on, and then, or four big topics. And then after that, in those topics is going to be like multiple bullet points that, I'm going to give you some meat on the bone. And then we'll do an outro, open it up for Q&A if you have any questions. And then I invite you to connect with me, after the call if that's something of importance to you. So we'll jump right into it. Number one, why hard work isn't enough in today's healthcare system. Before I get into this, I want y'all to spotlight this. Look, check out your boy. I came with that money green today because, listen, we're trying to get you to that next level. We're trying to get you paid. So I put on that money green. I put on that gold watch for you right there so it can all pop and let you know we're getting it today. So if you're not ready to get it, go ahead and jump off the call right now because this ain't for you. This is for the go-getters, the hustlers that we're ready to get to that next level, and we're going to be strategic about it. So let's get into it. So number one, why hard work isn't enough in today's healthcare system. One, you need to understand the system is built on doers, not being seen as leaders. And if you think of healthcare as a whole, healthcare as a whole is probably one of the largest industries in the world, right? We support so many people. Not only support so many people, but we have so many career options, right? Not everybody can be a leader, right? You probably heard that before. Too many chiefs, right? Listen, we're trying to be the chiefs, but healthcare is built on people being doers. Right now, if you're joining this call, there's a good chance that you probably found yourself being that person that's the doer. But we're trying to become the leader. So one, we need to realize healthcare is built on doers, not being seen as leaders. Hard work gets you respect from your peers, which is dope. But visibility, advocacy, and strategy, that's what gets you promoted. And that's what we're here for. We're trying to get to that next level. Healthcare is continuing to evolve, especially with the age of AI. Their AI is doing some pretty phenomenal things. It's streamlining operations. It's making communications that much easier. It's allowing people to get smarter. It's allowing our process to strengthen. AI is doing some dope things, right? Data is becoming more visible. We're in that age of digital storytelling. Branding is 100% a thing right now. So those are all the new leverage tools, right? Here's an example. So there's a nurse, right, that major healthcare system. Behind the scenes, she's solving all these workflow issues. That person, they get ignored. It's a major healthcare system, right? This nurse came in and said, you know what, we have inefficiencies here, we have inefficiencies there. So I'm going to, solve these problems. Then that nurse goes and solves those problems, but they're ignored. However, you can get another nurse, clinician, right, speaking on panels and publishing insights. That person is viewed as a leader, You could be a nurse fresh out of school, let's say 2 years removed, right? And what you start doing is you start speaking on panels, you start publishing your insights, and then all of a sudden that person gets elevated over you, and you've been doing this for 15 years. You're like, man, but they barely know how to take care of this patient. How in the freak is this person getting promoted in opportunities over me? Well, they figure out the formula. The formula is not about how hard I work, it's how visible I become. And in becoming visible, that person started speaking on panels, publishing their insights, right? Now they're viewed as leaders. Then 2 years later, that person becomes a department head. How did that happen? Because they became visible. So here's an example. I'll give you the examples. Here's a quote right here I want to hit you with. Hard work, it builds the house, but visibility puts your name on the deed. Ooh, he said it. What are we trying to do? We're trying to buy our house. If you're going to buy your house, you're at that title company and you're putting your name on a deed. Once you put your name on a deed, who owns that home? You do. Same thing with our career. We're trying to put our name on that deed. We're trying to own our career path. And that's what we're here for. We're trying to get to the next level. So hard work builds the house, but visibility, it puts your name on the deed. I want you to drop that 100 emoji, that 100 symbol in the chat box if you've ever worked your tail off, right? But you're still getting passed up for opportunities. I'll wait right here. Remember, closed mouths don't get fed. So if you're not visible, you're not seen, you're not getting that opportunity. Drop that 100 symbol if you've ever worked your tail off, but you're still getting passed up for opportunities. I'll wait. Yep. It's going to be some people behind the scenes being quiet. And I get that. We're scared of still showing up. You're like, okay, well, Pat, I'm only 10 minutes into this. I shouldn't be that visible yet. But maybe this is the problem right here. We're afraid to be visible on this little chat room that, there's maybe 15, 20 people behind the scenes that's watching this. But in our corporation where there's hundreds of people that look like us, where we're just grinding it out, we're afraid to be visible there too. It starts at the smallest area. So that was one. Number one, we talked about why hard work isn't enough in today's healthcare system. We'll move on to number two. The real reason you're underpaid, and it's not your qualifications. A lot of people thinking, man, and I see so many people, man, in my healthcare journey, like they have dope backgrounds, super smart, amazing experience. They have associate's degrees, they have bachelor's degrees, and then they say, you know what, it's not enough to get for me to just get my bachelor's degree. I want to get my master's degree. Then they go get a master's degree, and then they say, you know what, it's not enough for me. If I'm going to separate myself and I'm going to get that next position, then I'm going to get my doctor's degree. And so you have a doctor's degree, and here you are, a doctor's degree, and you're still making less than what you pay for your doctorate degree. That for me, that blows my mind. If you look at all that school that you did, you spend, including your doctorate degree, we're talking about $200,000 in investment in education, right? But yet your salary doesn't say you're making $200,000 a year. What was that for? I'm not trying to be judgmental. I'm just challenging you. Like, what is it for? And I do understand that culturally, a lot of us, we believe in education, and that's dope and that's powerful. But why do we believe in education? We believe in education for opportunity. We're trying to help ourselves, our families, to grow, expand financially, create mentorships, things like that, right? We're trying to get to that next level. I just don't want you to get education, just get education. So we're going to talk about being strategic here in a minute. So the real reason you're underpaid is not because your qualifications. Being qualified doesn't guarantee being compensated. And a lot of us, we have that mindset thinking that, okay, here I am, I get my master's degree, I get my doctor's degree, that means they're going to compensate me. Newsflash, no, it doesn't work like that. We still have more work to do. Most underqualified pros, they're still stuck in the execution mode with no narrative around impact. I say that again. Most unqualified pros are stuck in that execution mode with no narrative around impact. Salary is often aligned to perceived value, not actual contribution. I say that part again. Salary is often aligned to perceived value, not actual contribution. So there's three silent salary killers that you need to be aware of right here. No specific order, but I'm going to run these down. You're welcome to take notes or watch this on replay. Number one, no brand. People don't know you beyond your task. This may be you. You're probably listening to this. You're watching me. You're watching my facial expression. You're not in your head. You'd be like, yeah, he's got a point. My brand freaking stinks right now, right? So they don't know what your brand is, right? So now, only thing they're focused on is just your task. You may be good at that one particular task, but that doesn't mean you're good at running an organization. See what I'm saying? A lot of us thinking that I'm working hard over here, I'm really good at this task, and that's going to translate to me actually running a major organization. How is that? Just because you're good at PowerPoint? How does that mean you're going to run an organization? So one is going to be your brand. Two is going to be no receipts. And when I mean receipts, you're not quantifying your impact. If you watch some of my other stuff, managers, workers, they talk about their contribution in their department. Leaders talk about the impact across the organization. If we're trying to be a leader, then we need to be discussing what impact have we had that benefited the organization, right? So no brand, two, no receipts, and then three, no negotiation. It means that you accept whatever's offered instead of position yourself for more. That can be from a salary standpoint, or that can be from a position standpoint. Uh-oh, I think I zoomed myself in. Let me zoom myself out. There we go. Much better, much better. Y'all should have told me I had the big head. I got this freaking automated camera right here, and the camera is like motion activated, and sometimes it picks up my hand symbol, and then it just zooms in my head. So y'all gonna let me run around with the big head? Okay, I see how we are. Listen, I thought we was better than that. Come on, we could be better than that. So I'm gonna hit you up here. Three silent salary killers: no brand, no receipts, and no negotiation skills. Right. So we accept whatever's offered to us. We never really position ourselves for more. And I talk about this a lot, that in the interview process, when you're joining a new organization, that's when you want to have some clarity over your career, where you're trying to go with this. And some of you may feel lost. You don't know. But this is where you have the conversations with people. You say, listen, I'm interviewing for this position, but I'm also interested in understanding growth opportunities. How can I grow within the organization? More importantly, what tools are available to me that's going to help me get to the next level? Three, what other additional resources do you have that I can benefit from that's going to help me get to the next level? And then whoever your direct supervisor is, when you're having those one-on-ones, whether that's, monthly, quarterly, yearly, whatever, this is when we want to talk about how we get to that next level of our career. So closed mouths don't get fed. So we want to talk about that as well, right? So here's a mic drop for you. You're not paid based on how hard you work. You're paid based on how well you position your value. Ooh, let me sip to this one. Drink some water while you guys are processing it. You're not paid on how hard you work. You're paid based on how well you position your value. Hard work doesn't equal more pay. Your value, perceived value does. So number three, we're running through this fairly quickly, which is great. That means we should have a little bit more time for questions. Number three, how to position yourself for promotion, leadership roles, and higher earning opportunities. So here are my talking points. Positioning, this is what positioning equals, okay? It's going to be the 3 Ps. Positioning equals perception plus proof plus presence. Think of the 3 Ps. 3 Ps. Perception, proof, and presence equals positioning. So this is what we want to focus on. You need to stop being known as helpful and start being known as high impact. A lot of us, we go home at night because we put in 60 hours this week, 70 hours this week, 80 hours this week, and we've been doing the same job and we've been doing it well, right? And people, they grow to expect you to do that job and do it well. However, you're not known as high impact. You're just known as, hey, he's good. Patrick, he's good at doing that job over there. Like, you give him, a task. I already know Patrick is going to smash it. He's going to kill it. But what's the high impact? High impact is how you grew the organization, not just your job. So we want to be known as high impact. And I'll give you some tactical moves right here. Here's some tactical moves. I'm going to give you 3 of them really, really quick. I want you to document your impact. Like, not just what you did, but what changed because of what you did. You see what I'm saying? We got to reframe the way we put out the information that we're able to contribute to the organization. It's not just what you did, it's what changed because of what you did. The difference between managers and leaders, we talk about impact, right? We talked about that earlier. Impact is what you did to help the organization. So this is how to position yourself for higher salary opportunities. Everything that we talk about from this point forward is the impact that you made to the organization, not just your particular position, not just the people within your department right there. It's the organization. Now we're making power moves. We're not playing checkers anymore. We're playing chess, right? That's one tactical move. The second tactical move is visibility projects. We want to be visible, right? If you're not visible, then people can't see you. If people can't see you, then they can't promote you, right? We're head down hustlers and thinking we're going to be seen just because I'm busting my tail off over here, that somebody's just going to tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, Patrick, it's your turn. And now we're going to elevate you and promote you. It doesn't work like that. So visibility projects, we want to host team training, contribute to white papers. We want to present data. You just want to be visible and active in your organization, right? So that does mean maybe volunteering for projects, taking on new roles, stretching yourself a little bit. Remember, we're only in a season, and in this season, we're just in this chapter. And in this chapter, I'm busting my tail off in this chapter because I know when I flip the page, that next page is all about growth. You see what I'm saying? So we want to think of, what we're doing is in chapter. So document impact, visibility projects. And then 3, I want you to network with purpose. I want you to connect with people at the level that you want to reach. This is where a lot of us, we get scared. Like, we feel like, oh, I can't connect with the CEO because they're the CEO and I'm just this little old manager. So what? They're still a person just like you. They still put on their clothes just like you do. Who knows? They may value a relationship because now you have inside scoop into what's going on at the organization at a level that they don't even operate in. So these are great networking opportunities that we want to connect and reach the level of where we're trying to go, but not just your current circle. A lot of us, we network just here, or we network just here. But I want you to focus on not only networking upwardly, but outwardly as well, because you never know who's over here or who's over here that can position you for that opportunity. So let's get smart about how we network. So network with purpose. So here's a story I want to share with you. So there's an RN who started posting weekly, right? Like workflow tips on LinkedIn. You know what happened? That person, they were invited to speak at leadership summits. Then they transitioned into a system-wide director role just because they started posting weekly workflow tips. Did they come up with the tips? No. These are tips that they had learned in the organization, but they decided, you know what, this is crucial information that I'm going to share. I'm going to start putting it out there. And so they start putting it out there. And then this person who's lower than you, been in the organization less time than you, probably less qualified than you can run circles around them from a work standpoint, right? But that person is still invited to speak at a leadership summit just because they became visible. You see what I'm saying? This all ties back into how do we elevate our income? What is going to be that visibility? So here's a quote. Your next level, it won't come from a job board. It'll come from how you show up before you're promoted. So it comes from you. Your next level won't come from a job board. It'll come from how you show up before you're promoted. You know how many positions I've been offered when I was working for other organizations just because I was visible out there? Like that's part of the strategy. And nowadays, with the acceptance of AI, everybody is using AI to write powerful content, things like that. What are you doing to position yourself for growth from a visibility standpoint? Number 4, and then we're going to be wrapping this thing up really quick. So hopefully you're liking it, and we keep diving into it. Number 4, why visibility and strategy are non-negotiable if you want to grow. So here are my talking points right here. Visibility builds trust. Strategy builds momentum. I think one of the most important things I learned when I was working for that tech company, and I reported directly to the CEO, and he used to talk to me all the time. He was like, strategy is everything. Strategy is everything. Strategy is everything. Strategy is everything. Right? Visibility was dope, but it was a strategy of how we became visible to position ourselves for that company to sell for a record amount of money. It was all about strategy. Same thing with career growth. Where's your strategic hustle to help you get to the next level? Sometimes it's a lateral move. Sometimes it's an indirect move. Sometimes it's actually taking a step back. Sometimes it's actually seeking greener pastures where you feel more valued. You just got to figure out what your strategy move is for yourself. You don't need to post every day. You don't have to be a Patrick Hart because, that's what I do. But your brand should speak when you're not in the room. So I want you to ask yourself, what is your brand saying about you? Do you even have a brand? Leaders don't assume that they're ready. They notice when you show them. People notice when you show them that you're ready, okay? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to show people that we're ready. So if you're going to show somebody, again, it means we need to be visible. So here's some examples. I want you to use LinkedIn to document your wins. Those could be like thoughts on leaderships, lesson learns, things like this. Another big issue that I see a lot of people having right here, like on LinkedIn and on any networking site, is that we'll work for an organization, and then like on LinkedIn, we'll use LinkedIn to promote that organization, but you didn't promote your wins. If you want to create opportunities for yourself, you start documenting your wins and you make it visible. So now other people outside of your organization, outside of your department, outside of your company, even probably outside of your network, they can see the wins that you contributed to. And then they can have the idea of whether or not you're somebody they would like to connect, collaborate with, or even offer a position to. See what I'm saying? So document your wins, and then those wins should be documented visually. Start a newsletter, join panels, contribute to DEI councils if DEI is even a thing anymore. Like, whatever it is that fits your style, just be seen. Oh, Patrick, that sounds amazing, but I'm afraid to get out there. Well, you join this and you wanted to know why you're underpaid. Well, that's why. I just gave it to you. So here what we need to do now is ask ourselves, do I want to get to that next level? 1, right? What is that next level? 2, am I willing to put in the work to get to the next level? 3, you see what I'm saying? And then get the next level and then show out, ball out. So do I have some strategy tips in here? Yes, I already talked about that before. They don't know what you show them. So here's an example. We document our wins, newsletters. Here's a strategy breakdown I want to share with you really, really quick. Step 1, decide your leadership narrative. Like, what do you want to be known for? This is your narrative. What are you known for? 2, choose your visibility lane, right? That can be videos, that can be writing, or it can be presentations. Or you can be me, and I do all of them, because listen, I'm out here hustling, dude. I'm trying to get to the next level that I've never reached before. So you're going to see videos from me. You see my blog posts where I'm writing blogs. You see the LinkedIn live presentations that I do, the collaboration features that I do with other dope leaders from around the world, because these are my visibility lanes. But you need to choose one. Whatever your visibility lane is, stick to it, run with it, and be great at it, right? Then 3, track your results and amplify your wins. So if you go and look at my LinkedIn profile, it could use a little bit of work, but I'm happy with it the way that it is. And everything that you see on there is me telling a story about something. And I share a lot of wins. And some people may be, offended by it, but I'm like, it's my profile. I can share whatever the freak I want to share on my profile because it's my profile. I'm sharing with you the wins that I've had because these are impacts that I've been able to have within my life or other people's life as well. If I don't talk my own stuff, who else is going to do it for me? See what I'm saying? This is not humility. This is positioning. This is strategy. We need to do the same for you as well. So here's my live prompt right here. What's one thing that you're doing right now that deserves to be seen by leadership? Welcome to drop it in the comments. You're doing it right now. It deserves to be seen by leadership. Think about it. Write it down. If you're not writing this down, it's a good chance we're not going to get to that next level. So we're trying to get to that next level. Where we're at, do a time check really quick. Okay, so here's my outro really quick, and then I'll open up for Q&A if we have any questions. The people who rise in systems, they aren't always the smartest or the hardest working. They're the most strategic. Some people may actually call these people brown nosers. I'm not asking you to kiss tail to get to the next level, but I'm asking you to be strategic and start networking with the people that can help you get to the next level. So that's being strategic. They lead without permission. They show up even when they're overlooked, and they make sure that the right people see their impact. It's about seeing impact. So here's my call to action. I got multiple things that I want you to do. 1, I want you to follow me right now. If you're not already following me, make sure you follow me, here on LinkedIn for more real talk on healthcare leadership or just career growth in general. Even though my focus is, career growth within healthcare, this is universal language that I'm sharing with you. You can use that within any industry, right? So make sure you follow me. Make sure you like and repurpose all the posts that I put out there. Whether you like it or not, it's going to help me out, but it also is going to help you out as well. Because if I become more visible, it makes you more visible because now I'm going to be shouting you out. I'm going to be like, such and such joined, such and such doing dope work. We need to connect with that person. So follow me. 2, I want you to tag a colleague, like someone who's valuable, who's too valuable to stay invisible, right? Tag them, share this replay with them so they can come back and watch it. Then make sure that person likes, follows my post as well. 3, I want you to DM me the word level if you're ready to position yourself for more and need a personalized roadmap, right? That's my 3rd ask. And then 4, I've been getting, I've been doing enough of these where a lot of people have been hitting me up and they say, well, Patrick, listen, I would like more, some more of that dope impact that you're making, some of that dope knowledge that you're sharing. So I'm actually putting together, this, I guess it's a master class that I'm putting together. I'll probably drop it next month. Make sure you subscribe to my newsletter just so you can be on the know list when I drop that. And I would invite you to join me for that. And I think it's going to be dope because it connects with my alignment, my impact that I'm trying to make to help you get to that next level of your career success. So do those things. And then my final word here is, listen, this quarter, it doesn't have to look like your last one. But the next level, it only responds to strategy, visibility, and ownership. So let's stop waiting. Let's start moving. With that being said, that's going to conclude today's presentation. Today's presentation was about you're not undervalued. You're just underpositioned, right? I was your host, Patrick Hart. Make sure you connect and follow me as well. 4 areas that we talked about today is why hard work isn't enough in today's healthcare system. 2, the real reason you're underpaid and it's not your qualifications. 3, how position yourself for promotions, leadership roles, and higher earning opportunities. And then 4, why visibility and strategy, they're non-negotiable if we're looking to grow. So chat box is open. I'm hopeful that I can see everybody's chat. If not, I will come back later to look at all the different comments that came in afterwards, and then I'll try to connect with you there as well. But it is open if you have any questions. And I will pause here for 30 seconds. If there's no questions, then we're going to close this baby out, and we're going to get to the next one. Next week, I'm going to be hitting you with something else that's going to be dope. It's going to be phenomenal. I invite you to join. Make sure you put it on your calendar. And until next time, let's keep hustling. Let's get it. Money green, baby. Money green. Let's get it. We're out here hustling. I think that's it. Let's close it up. Until next time, peace, love, and hair grease. Talk to you soon.